voters are picking a replacement for ex-Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. The race in the Ruby Red District pits two veterans against one another. Republican Clayton Fuller is an Air National Guard veteran endorsed by President Trump and supports the war in Iran. Democrat Sean Harris has been very outspoken against the war, and he is a retired Army Brigadier General. CNN's Isabel Rosales is live at a polling place in Rome, Georgia. Isabel.
Dana, this House seat is critical for the GOP with a slim majority in the House, 217 to 214. And this race could also serve as a referendum on President Trump. The big question here is whether broad unease toward the Trump administration's Iran policy, if that's going to trickle down into this special election. Whether this is going to be an early test ahead of the midterms on what the public sentiment is, how voters feel about this war in Iran. Now, both candidates are veterans, but both very different in the positions that they're taking when it comes to Iran. Now, Republican Clay Fuller, he is a former district attorney. He is Trump's hand-picked candidate. He has his endorsement. If Republicans consolidate their support around Fuller, he should win this election. On Iran, he says, quote, "Our country is safer because of what President Trump has done regarding Iran." Democrat Sean Harris, he's a retired U.S. Army officer. He called Iran, quote, "a war of choice." Now, I've been speaking to voters here for a couple of hours. The issues that they said were top of mind were the economy, the war in Iran, and immigration. All but one voter I spoke with were in support of Trump's military action in Iran. Take a listen.
Right now, everything matters, and everybody needs to come out and vote because this is a really important election. The economy as a whole, I mean, everything is costing us way more, and we're not getting paid any more money.
I think the cost of living is number one right now. I understand the other issues at hand, but this is something that's been hindering this country for 4 or 5 years. If you put a fork in a devil's hand, something's going to go wrong. And, in Iran, that was going to happen. You take the countries that are much closer than we are, it's extreme dangerous for them. And I think the right to control whether they have the ability to make nuclear weapons, somebody had to step up.
Now, Georgia's 14th congressional district covers 10 counties from the Atlanta suburbs all the way to the Appalachian foothills along the Tennessee border there. Trump carried this district by 68% of the vote back in 2024. Tana.
Isabel, thank you so much for that reporting, and my panel is back here. Nia, I guess the first question is, 37 percentage points is, again, what Trump won this district by just last year, or a year and a half ago. Yeah. So the notion of a Democrat actually winning could be far-fetched. Maybe not, but could be. At this point, though, we're looking at margins and what that tells us.
Yeah, I think that's right. How effective is the message that Democrats are telling voters about the economy, about this person obviously is running against the war in Iran? Are they able to get their voters out? You saw the black voter there. That's obviously going to be important to any Democrat going forward beyond this race. So in so many ways, it's sort of a test case. Can they get the margins down? I doubt they'll win. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene won by like 30 points, beating Harris in 2024. But again, even as I talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's amazing that she's not in Congress anymore, right? I mean, that's sort of the backdrop of this. And when she talks about the war, she sounds more like the Democrat than she sounds like the Republican. So there are all of these dynamics at play, and we'll see how Democrats are able to harness them in this particular race, not to win, but to sort of test these messages going forward.
I'm nodding my head vigorously because we just in the last section played that clip from Tucker Carlson. It's the Tucker Carlsons and the Marjorie Taylor Greenes who now represent some of the major divisions in MAGA, and that could manifest itself in this race. It's got to be a huge blow either way that a Democrat is even remotely competitive in this district. So I agree with both of you that the margins will be looked at, but it doesn't really even matter in the end. Certainly if he wins, it's going to matter dramatically because it'll reduce the already tight majority in Congress for the Republicans. But the fact of him being competitive represents the divisions in MAGA are only growing, and upset with President Trump and his record is his thing going into the midterms.
Bill?
Go
You can go, but I'm going to dork out with you for a second.
Please.
So I think you're going to enjoy doing this.
Here for it.
Okay. Check out this graphic that our team made. This is about the special elections since Donald Trump took office. And what you're looking at on the right side of your screen is the margins in 2024. On the left side of your screen, the margins in the special elections since 2024. And the pattern that you're looking at is Republicans, even those who have won by a lot less. And Democrats, who won before, are winning by a lot more. And let's just put it another way. There are about 70 House Republicans who won their districts by less than 17 points. 17 percentage points is the average of what you're looking at on the screen.
This is exactly, and we didn't actually plan this. Your team's just brilliant. As are you.
We're just two dorks.
Exact more or less, yes. What matters here, like Fuller should win. He should win going away. It shouldn't actually be that close. That's not the metric here. The metric that the other 216 or 17 House Republicans are going to be looking at right now is the margin. If he's winning by 13 to 16 points, Republicans are going to see that as just another piece of evidence that things are heading in a very, very bad direction. It's not about whether or not he wins handily. It's, does he come anywhere near the margin? Nobody's expecting him to hit 25 or 30 necessarily, but if you're under 20 in a district like this district, having spent a lot of time in this district in 2024, it would be another example where Republicans are looking around saying, well, you know, specials had weird turnout, you can't necessarily know exactly where this is going to go. No, they're all thinking the same thing behind the scenes, which is we have yet to see a special over the course of the last 6 to 8 months that in any way gives us something to hold on to as we're in good shape right now.
Assuming the Republican wins, it gives the House Speaker something to hold on to, which is one more seat, which is not nothing with this
Very
kind of slim majority. Up next is